For analysis, let's bring in Arthur Dong, distinguished teaching professor at Georgetown University's McDonough School of Business. Great having you, Arthur. And, you know, tariffs were announced, some are delayed. What's your take amid all these crossed statements?
Yes, thank you, Diego, for having me on today, and it's a pleasure to be with you. Yes, since the inauguration of Donald Trump in January, we have seen this administration act with breathtaking speed. What's notable is that the total amount of tariffs being imposed in the second Trump administration are already, from a dollar point of view, much greater than the tariffs that were imposed in Trump administration number one. So we're seeing very aggressive, bare-knuckled, aggressive trade policies. And what's remarkable is that many of these tariffs and trade restrictions are being directed not just against China, but they're directed against two of America's most important trade allies, which is Canada and Mexico.
And where do you estimate the chances of a recession, given the strength and the bare knuckles strategy behind all these tariffs? Do you see the possibility of a recession in the near future, given these uncertainties?
I would say, Diego, there have been some economists that are actually studying this vigorously, and the way they see the numbers is that we're already starting to see an increase in inflation as a result of the imposition of tariffs. Once you impose tariffs, the transmission mechanism, let's say, to store shelves is relatively quick. And so whether it's agricultural goods and now maybe electronics and other types of consumer goods, we've already heard Walmart and Target, the CEOs of those companies, provide guidance in terms of increase in prices. And as we all know, you cannot defy the laws of economics. As prices increase, demand for those goods go down, and thereby that will definitely restrict or constrain the growth of GDP in America. And right now, Wall Street has, in the last several weeks, has answered with a decline in stock prices. And I dare say that Wall Street has not fully priced in future tariff increases that are certainly on the horizon.
I see, but I'd also like to look at the big greater map. How do you see the chances of, or how do you see the economies of Canada, Mexico, maybe Europe? How are they going to evolve after these tariffs and uncertainties?
Yeah, I think Canada and Mexico are going to, be affected in a very serious way, as the United States is their #1 trade partner, and as those import tariffs, become effective, 25%. Across the board on Canadian and American and Mexican products, with the exception of Canadian oil, which is only priced at 10%. But either way, we're talking about a significant hit to the Canadian and the Mexican economy. And what's being contemplated for Europe is certainly a directed action towards German luxury cars like Mercedes-Benz, but also reciprocal tariffs that will go far deeper than a universal tariff across the board that was originally contemplated. So with regard to our European allies here in the United States, my advice is to buckle up, because it's going to be a rough ride.
I'd like to look further into the future, Arthur. I'd like to see or try and understand if a new trade order is emerging after this.
Oh, without doubt, Diego. What President Trump is doing is throwing into the garbage can 50 years of effective trade policy, for which the United States had led the global order in terms of the regulation and the liberalization of trade around the world, which in effect has lifted all boats, and that the global economy has benefited, as well as the United States. All of that is now, going to be thrown into the dumpster, as 50 years of trade policy is now at risk of being completely undermined.
Arthur Dong, thank you. Great having you.